Another trick that I use when I'm painting to get random textures is I'll do a paint spatter. There's different ways to do that. And sometimes I use all these methods. Like, let's say I'm painting a rock. I always use these when I'm to put down the base of a rock. And then I'll hit it with a spatter, usually a dark spatter. Now, if I'm painting like a sandy beach or something like that, I'll do a dark and then I do a light over it, and suddenly it looks like sand. So these little techniques are kind of neat to know how to do. But how much to do it is just your own sense of taste, really, when it comes down to, and knowing when to stop. So I'm dry brushing these tentacles. I'm just putting some of this lighter green on there just to, I'm just trying to get a nice variety of colors on here. I mean, the colors are green, and up here there's a little more purple. So the colors are pretty much what they are. It's the variety in the mixtures and the values and the textures that I'm getting, especially with the sponge texture, which I actually like. I like that. I think, if a person has an airbrush and if you're good at it, you probably have a completely different look than this. But I do like this. I like this, the textured look. I think it's kind of cool. It's craggy looking. He looks like he could. Well, if you look at an octopus, they can land on coral, and it's almost like they hit a switch and they blend in. You can't find them. So they get all that very craggy coral look to them, and so I'm trying to get that. After I do this, I need to do the eyes. I also need to do the underneath of the tentacles again. I need them to be a little more of a pure pink. And then I'm going to hit, and this shouldn't take very long, each one of these suction cups, I'm just going to hit it with a little white on the bottom. Just something that I just saw in a natural history book that I have in my studio. So what I'm doing here is I'm sponging some of this green onto the top side of the tentacles, so that when you plug them in, this green will continue on down. It's actually getting kind of difficult on some of these because of the turns and twists that they take. Every once in a while I get some on some of the suction cups, and I have to wipe them off before they dry. Another lonely train off in the distance. The only time I hear them is when there's absolutely no music or TV or anything on, which is usually when I'm home painting by myself. Once the family gets home, it's a very loud house. What I did was I sponged on this lighter green color around the neck and the bottom of this. He's got this big heavy head that gravity sort of pulls it down. Thinking in terms of the fact that it's humanoid, but it's also it's a squid or an octopus, so it doesn't have a a skull? Is it, is this head gelatinous, or is there something in there? And I kind of went with a hybrid. Definitely has some bony components in the front, and then in the back it's a little bit more like an octopus with the head just, you feel like you could poke your finger in it. Which would be kind of nasty, really. So that's what I'm doing. I'm touching up here a little bit more. I'm going to take a brush and get in here in some of these spots. And there's a spot right up under here on both sides where I really need to get in there and put some color down. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to start paying attention to the eyes and the tentacles. I might go one shade lighter than this, just to do right around here. Maybe. I hope I'm not overdoing it with the light colors, but I might go ahead and do one more. Okay, I pretty much got everything painted. Had my son spray paint the base black. I would probably, if I had more time, I would probably do the inside of it the same, and I may do that later, but for now, what we need to do is, we need to glue the tentacles in, or epoxy. So, where did I put that? There it is. So that's next. And then put the whole thing together, and then I'll put the finish on it. First the satin, and then the gloss on the eyes and the tentacles and things like that. So we got number 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to do the 1, 2, and 3. That's the ones I'm going to do first. I'll do the other side after that. Let me line them up anyway. 6, 5, 4. All right. Certainly hope I don't run out of epoxy. Ooh, there we go. I'm gonna shoot it. I feel like a dentist. A Cthulhu dentist. All right. First is number 1. And this sets up quickly. It's just about in there. I'm going to kind of put them all 3 in there so I can move them around if I need to. Okay, so far so good. And number 3. Going to set it down so everything is sitting flat on a surface. Because tentacle number 1 has to sit flat on the surface in front of it, and then everything else has to sort of fit with it. Tentacle number 3 needs to kind of come back as close to the jawline and the neck as it can go, and I'm just going to let that sit there for probably 5 minutes until it sets up. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the base just to make sure that these all these line up to where they're supposed to be. That. Shoot. So far, so good. Looking good. So we're going to let that set up. All right, so I go 6. 5. Boom. And 4. Now I'm going to put it down on the base. Again, I'll put the base on it while it's upside down. Okay. And once this dries, I think I'll be able to, then I'll connect it to the base. Let me see. I should probably just leave it alone. Let it go. And once I get the finish on it, it should be. Once I get the finish on it, it should be awesome. As awesome as it's going to get. Thank you so much for backing this project. I could not do it without you. I look forward to hearing the stories of you introducing this to your gaming table, and I can't guarantee that it's going to roll you 20s every time, but you know, it's going to be an interesting addition to your game. And I can't wait to hear the stories. And I can't wait to, I really want to get as many of these into your hands as I can. And once again, thanks for backing me.